Hello and greetings to Arohi members, supporters, and friends. My name is Harriet Servis and I retired in 2000 from the USC Emeriti Center. Now that seems to be a long time ago, yet a marker for me to signify the golden opportunity that I was given to serve for 17 years with the first three directors of the USC Emeriti Center, James Peterson, Tillman Hall, and then Paul Hadley. When I began working in the Emeriti Center, the director, James Peterson, and a faculty retiree, Arnold Small, were in the process of evaluating the results of a 1984 Mail survey to 100 public and private colleges and universities. The survey was inquiring whether their campus had any formal organization or center that was focusing on retired persons or their interests. And the results revealed that there was only about 1/4 of the campuses that had any office that was dedicated to retirees. So these results set in motion the realization that college and university retirees needed to be given an opportunity to stay connected with their campus and their colleagues. So as a result of that survey, USC hosted the first what we called Conference on Retirement in Colleges and Universities with 10 schools attending. The enthusiasm and the desire to expand were obvious, and the participation of the leaders from UCLA, Berkeley, UC San Diego State, Washington State, and other campuses who joined in the meetings in '86, '87, and '88. It became known as the West Coast Conference on Retirement in Colleges and Universities. And then later in 1989, the University of Washington hosted the fifth conference with 22 schools attending, with also a representation from Canada. It was agreed then that an effort needed to be made to encourage more campuses to participate beyond the West Coast. Well, Purdue University had been contacted in Lafayette, Indiana, and they had agreed to host a meeting, but low enrollment and enthusiasm just resulted in the cancellation of that conference. So efforts stalled for a few years, but in '96 and '97, interest was revived, with a few meetings in Ashland, Oregon, and conference attendees still expressed an interest in expanding beyond the West Coast. So, a group of original planners made reservations to gather for a 1998 conference aboard the cruise ship Royal Caribbean Legend of the Seas. As you can imagine, that was not a college campus, but a week-long retreat for eager planners to gather, focus, communicate, and view the Alaskan scenery. We were refreshed and continued our request to expand. As I recall, there were about 15 or 20 attendees and a few roommates and spouses who were not involved in the daily meetings at that time, and the active participants were from Washington, Oregon, and the California campuses. We met in the lower deck conference rooms and enjoyed meals together in the ship's main dining room. The conference was structured as a general discussion of how our campus retiree organization have been progressing and ways to further develop of what would later become Arohi. The cruise ship conference thought came about with a few years prior when my husband and I were on another cruise and we noticed that there was a conference group on board. And the ship was gathering in the conference rooms in the lower decks, and I acquired into the possibility of a future gathering, and the idea took hold. So for us, the cruise ship conference was an attractive, easy fix. All attendees made their own reservations, which included, of course, their room and meals, plus entertainment on board. So the campus retirement conferences continued then when North Carolina State hosted a meeting in 2000 under the leadership of Tom Elliman. The idea of a multi-campus organization was agreed upon with the purpose of providing a forum for the discussion of all aspects of retirement in higher education. The idea of Arohi was launched, and Paul Hadley, then director of the USC Emeriti Center, was chosen as its organizing president. The USC Staff Retirement Association and the Retired Faculty Association continue their support of Arohi with our leader, Jeanette Brown, who is now the Assistant Vice Provost for the USC Emeriti Center. My long association with the Ameritai Center and Arohi has been very pleasant, and I do continue. However, I will not be in attendance at this Arohi conference in September. So I hope that my presence here on this presentation will make up for my absence, and I hope I will all meet you again some year. Thank you.